Good morning, good day, everyone. Welcome to the Siddha webinar series. So today we are in a place where we all are supposed to be living peacefully, but somehow we have a butterfly effect. So where something happening in one corner of the world affects other people in some one way or the other. So this is a very, very important topic. How things happen, why things happen that way. Is these things such as war? Does war happen because of individuals, or is it a collective action? So if you look at how the whole ancient knowledge works, is based on how the mind and thought wave works. These are called thought clouds. And how thought clouds work, what kind of thoughts we have created, and how they manifest. So that is the whole idea. So before going to that topic, more than a topic, I wanted to do a interactive session with you, and we can discuss about your the problems that you faced right currently, and we can go a little deeper into that subject. And because this subject is going to be happening every few years, some pandemic will happen, like how we had COVID. So how do we handle this kind of situation? So we'll look into that. Before that, we'll go for a world peace meditation for 10 minutes. So let us meditate for world peace. So keep your hand like this, close your eyes. So we'll do the Visvarupa expansion, spherical harmonic meditation, expanding your aura with your thought. Whatever you think, you become that. So if you, is also called the Hanuman Pranayama, so which is expanding, contracting. So with your mind, keep your mind in the Muladhara base chakra. And breathe in, you expand like size of a soccer ball, and contract, breathe out back to Muladhara, size of a ping pong ball, Nelikai or Amla. So breathe in, expand, soccer ball size, breathe out. So you don't doubt in the way you're doing, just expand, contract, expand, size of a soccer ball. There is no color or anything associated with the ball. You're breathing in, breathing out. This comes through practice. It's like you're blowing a balloon up, your mouth will expand. Same way you're expanding your mind through breath. You're breathing in and then breathing out, sink back to the Muladhara. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Expand, contract. Muladhara. Now expand 3 feet outside your body, 3 feet, and then contract, come back to your, with your mind you can expand, breathe in and contract, breathe out and come back to the Muladhara, size of a ping pong ball. So expand 3 feet, radius ball, and contract. Breathe in, breathe out. Don't doubt your method. Whatever you're doing is right. Just you have to do it. There's no other practice for this. Just by doing it, you will practice. No other tips or methods for this. Now expand to the size of the room or your house as big as possible and then contract. In all 360-degree. Expand up, down, it penetrates walls anywhere you want to penetrate. It's a two-story building or if you have a basement, it doesn't matter. Expand, contract. It's called spherical harmonics breathing, Hanuman pranayama or Vishwarupa pranayama. Expand to the size of the city where you live, wherever you live, that size. Expand and then contract. Focus on that. Don't get distracted with your mind somewhere and your breath somewhere. Your breath will go with the expansion. Expand to the size of the continent where you live. Living in North America, expand. If you're living in Asia, Africa, you can expand to that size. Approximately. So it can be spherical. The shape of the expansion is spherical in nature. Shape of continent can be irregular, doesn't matter, but you can expand spherically. Expand to the size of the whole planet. Expand the whole earth. And then shrink back to the Mooladhara. Now we expand to the size of the planet, whole earth, and hold your breath. And then contract back to Mooladhara. So we are doing a Kumbhagam, it's called Kumbhagam. Expand, hold your breath to the entire earth. And contract, come back, shrink down to Mooladhara. Keep doing this. Now expand, hold there for a long time, as much as you can. Breathe in and hold entire planet. We all are doing it simultaneously. This expanded mind, you're going to bless this planet. Peace prevail in this planet. To all people in the world, good health, long life, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. May the whole world be blessed by the divine. May the whole world be blessed by the divine. May the whole world be blessed by the divine. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently rub your hands. And come back, shrink down the aura and come back to your body, to the Mooladhara. And do eye palming. Rub your hands, please. So, we call something called Bedam. Bedam is a Tamil word. It's a differentiation. Like Bedam means whatever. My family, I have this last name, so I have an identity. Or I have some money, I'm owning this. So your identity, there's an identity, you're owning this, somebody doesn't have that. Or I belong to the United Nations is the number one country in the world, like that. It's called Vedam difference. Or you belong to a caste or a religion. So all these things, the Siddha way is to come out of this. You don't identify yourself to any of this. If you identify, you will never see consciousness, God in everything. Because God is part of every being, everything in this universe, planet. So if you're separating yourself by nation, countries, I'm superior, and you are weaker identity, or you wanted to, this is we call it the Panchamaga Pavangat, Panchamaga Pavas. Pava means like sins. What are the very big 5 sins? So in the 5 sins, first 2 are Kolai and Kollai. Kolai means killing and Kollai means stealing. So Kollai means is not just an individual, and we associate things with individuals. It can be a country. Karmas are not just for individuals. Countries will also have karmas. So how country consciousness works is the collective is not an individual. A head of the nation doing something is not an individual decision. It is based on the collective consciousness that was downloaded for, many people think this way, and it's all in the cloud. And they download someone who has to execute, so they do this. So the karma is for the collective people. So karma doesn't go to one person. Same way, whatever happens in some other place, all the fear and everything that they downloaded, a war will happen, something will happen, like that. Things happen. So collectively they download that. So the whole thing is that fear. So all these things are in the Panchamaga Pavas only. Kollai, Kollai, Kalavu, Katpalipu, Sudu. So these all are 5 Panchamaga Pava. That means all the bigger things that we are doing. This is the 5 things that they say you don't do that. If you do this, it is a sin, big sin. But this is how the world is ruling today. The world is ruling through like inferior, superior complex. So you are smaller, I am bigger. Inequality. Or you go there, you have something, I'm going to steal this. If you don't give this is the thing, So this is stealing, right? And otherwise I'll kill you. Killing. All these are collective karmas. Okay, so we have seen all these files and all these Epstein files, all these released. So you look at like what all human beings do is all the Panchamaga Pavas on a big scale. So even if you do, so what happens like an individual, like how an individual karma, you will also have a karma. If you are living in the United States, you will have a karma. Right now, you will have a karma. So because of the people who are hurt somewhere, or it is affecting, if my mother in India is not able to purchase a gas cylinder, and she may not able to cook and by herself, and if she is cursing, that curse will come to me or anybody in the United States. So the collective thoughts of those will come to us in some way so that we won't sleep. I can't sleep now. You see, yeah. Why I'm just giving an example, right? So it will not allow you to be peaceful. So this thinking that somebody can be peaceful by doing something somewhere is not a real good idea. If something can come back from the humans, if they cannot, humans cannot, all the collective ideas will come through either, in some other way, such as another country rises up and do something, or it can come through human, like the Panchabuddhas. So if the humans cannot do it, animals cannot do it, Panchabuddhas will take over. So they go to the Panchabuddhas. So this is how the whole thing works. So Panchabuddhas will work. You can have landslides, earthquakes, you can have tsunamis, right? Okay. So this is how it works, right? So the idea is that, we need to have, like, the thought waves are very important. This is called collective thought waves, thought clouds. So thought clouds, they manifest in forms. So you cannot escape. Your thought is the biggest thing. All the collective ideas, see, if you look at all the movies, all that we are looking at, the news, everything is about negativity. So they talk about, see, if you look at news, like every news, there are many good things happening. They're not showing that, right? Anything in YouTube or anything, anywhere. All negatives are reflected there. So collectively, all our people are watching that. And what happens? Slowly they form thought clouds. When thought clouds are formed, whoever is eligible, the person who wants to do something, they, with the same kind of thought, they synchronize this. They can resonate with that and download that, right? So, and then they can, just execute that. So this is how it works. It's not, it's not in our hands. So it is not in an individual decision making capability. Once you download, it's done. Once that is downloaded, they will execute it no matter what. Okay. So our responsibility is to change our thoughts. Positive thinking. So one thing is that, okay, are we worried about these things? War is happening. Should we really worry? Yes, indeed. If you're a human being, you need to worry. But this worry is not like carrying the worry, I'm worried, I'm very weak, what will happen? That's a different story. That's your weakness. So that you don't have to do that. But as a collectively, we can see that this is humanity. Somewhere war happens, some children die or something happens, that their human value, if you're giving a human value, like each and every being is highly valued. They are made up of God component. It's a God. So if you don't value that, then why do we have temples? Why do you have all those things that we are thinking as a God or consciousness? In any religion, doesn't matter. So if you truly believe that God, if there is a God, that God is in every being. Okay. So the God is in every being, right? So every being means all the living consciousness, even the 84, we call 8.4 million species are there. All those species, they also have God component. So when does When do you really see that God component is when you see a plant. Vadi payare kanda podalam vadi nenu say. Says scientist Valalar says. When you see a blade of grass without, drying without water, and then you cry for it, that is where the God consciousness, you will see God consciousness. So that level, the Siddhas went down deeper into what is God. God is that, in that living being, in the first one sense organ, they see God. That's why sage scientists, Agastya and all, they worship. If you want to take a herb, they have to get the permission from the herb. So they talk the language of the plant, one sense as a language. And the plant says, okay, it gives permission. Only then they will take it. But they do not do this with animals. Animals, only when they are dead, some components, they will take it from that. That's how the Siddhas lived. So if you teach that kind of, this is called the Jiva Karunya, the consciousness at the base level of education, then these kids who learn that killing even a plant is harmful, will they ever go for a war? So, think about it. Will they ever carry a AK-47 in their life? Will they ever think about killing a human being? Never. So making the human being, killing a human being easy is the worst thing that humanity can ever face. Right? So we, at this point, what do? Well, every day some information comes. But how do we handle this? First of all, nothing is in our control. We don't control this. Only thing we can do is to bless, collectively bless. That's the only thing we can do. Nothing is in human control, right? You can think, and only through thought you can manifest. You can manifest a leader who will do it. If you collectively think positive, and we can create a thought cloud that says we need world peace, for example, right? Instead of fighting with each other because you have a lot of things, So why countries accumulate a lot of these arms and ammunities? Because they can destroy others very easily. So if that, so if there is a world peace organization, unlike UNO, which is not meant for that, which is dominated by countries, and we have veto powers and other things, but we really need a universal organization represented by several countries, right? And that organization should take over, all the borders protection, right? And that border protection should be represented by all countries, right? And then it is possible that we can have a world peace, and later on maybe they can make it easy for all these visas and other things, so that people all over the world can work, they can live in different places around the world, because this is our own planet. We all have the rights to live anywhere in this planet, right? All making it difficult for people to come to another country, visit or something. We are rich country, we are poor country, we have this condition, this. All these are, the worst thing that humanity can ever do that, and we don't have the rights. This world belongs to everyone. And this is the kind of thing we should look for. So our mind should always be in the expanded state of the planet, the planet Earth. Always we should, in the morning, you should bless. When you wake up, you bless the whole world. Expand your mind. I told you like how to do the pranayama, but you can do in a very short time, like at one shot, you can expand your mind to the entire earth and bless 9 times. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. When you do that and everybody start doing this, we all collectively, any organization, it need not be one organization, many organizations were working for world peace. Whatever they're doing, all this, they form a thought cloud. When we form a thought cloud, somebody, a leader will execute. Like how Gandhi did, for example, Gandhi did, it's not Gandhi's energy, it's the collective energy of the ahimsic principle of the ancient India that was done by Gandhi, right? So many people thought that peacefully we have to do something peacefully, and those have cloud, the thought cloud, and therefore Gandhi was able to execute it. So leaders, good and bad leaders, come out of the people only, collective people. So we create good leaders only by good thoughts, and we create thought clouds. So this is how we can change this world. But as individuals, do we have to really worry? Well, you can worry on many things, but it is of no use. We can only think positive and blessings. That's all. Only think about the positive things. But if you keep on worrying, you will go to negativity. You will drain your energy. You will have low energy every time, and you will end up in problems. That's not our goal. Our goal, we should protect ourselves. We should be in low frequency so that this doesn't affect. Even if wars are happening, in that war situation, you can deeply meditate that you will be protected, right? And before going on a flight, you should do a protection ring around you. Those who attend tomorrow, I can teach you the protection ring. If you come in the Eastern time, the morning, how to make a protection ring around you. So tomorrow morning at Eastern 5:30 a.m., which is 3 p.m. in India time, IST. Other times you can see compared to this, right? Relative to, so you look at the time UK or Africa, whatever time. So here is the meditation, right? I'll also do not only Marma Kriya, but I'll also will teach you how to do the ring around you, protection ring. The protection ring will help you when you are in a pandemic, any difficult situation. If you keep this protection ring around you, that even if flight falls, nothing will happen to you. But more than that, you will not allow the flight to fall. That's how much energy you should create, right? So at least to that level, if not the whole world, which is not controlled by just a few big energies, you need a huge number of people to do that, because the negative energy is so huge today that the positive energy to take over, it will take time and need a little intensity also. So this is how we should work. So in this contest, I open for any questions, based on what I talked today. So please open for questions.
So, Dr. Shan,
Yes.
so right now in the news, this Iran and the US war going on. So, who's going to accumulate the karmas? Because one side starts striking, the other side then reacts, and then there lot of killing going on, a lot of destruction going on. So, how does the karma apply there in this situation?
So first of all, country karma, whoever started this, they'll have karma. But there is a karma within that country. Whatever happened, they had their own internal things within that country. They didn't wanted that kind of a leadership or whatever, they thought. That also worked there. With that karma, things happen. So the karma will be accumulated to whoever we do that. In the United States, we'll have a karma, right? But when they try to see, protection is something, defense is something that you can do is not a big thing, because defense is a human right. You can do defense, and if you do defense in a way, if you're doing very peacefully, that is the best way of defense. Otherwise, to some level of destroying some equipments and other places, that is. But when it comes to human destruction, even when you're doing defense, see, for example, in martial arts, we have a martial arts, so even we learn martial arts so that we can defend ourselves in you know in situations. So in martial arts we can do something, and they temporarily we can make him unconscious or paralyzed, and later on we can recover. So that's a method. But here, if you cannot recover, if you kill a human being, still there will be karmas for even Iran. So they should go for peaceful methods. They should collect all the nations together for justice. So that is one way of doing it. Very diplomatically, politically, they have to go for it instead of wars. You know, and now we need to do justice, not based on just because United Nations is number one, we should support this. You should take this to a global justice should be seen, very differently. Who do not represent any country. So that kind of international justice should be given, and see who is wrong, because that justice court should take control of all the crimes. Otherwise, people will, number one will always do the crimes. Number one, number two, like that, whoever comes.
But see, that kind of justice code does not exist anywhere.
Yeah,
Any
that's what
country,
I'm
all
telling.
the court system, anywhere, even in the US or India, the court system, it's
Yes,
all based on money. If you have money, then you can get justice. Right? That's all
that's
it
true.
is.
That is exactly, you're right. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's what we wanted. So that's what we wanted. There are some human beings who are still with integrity, trust, we can believe in, and only that they don't have a choice right now, because if those people cannot exist in a system. But there are good human beings in this world, and we have to collect all the nations together who like peace. And see, there will always be like a 30% country who like peace, right? They want to go that way. But there will be another 30% who always like war. But the other 40% will shift, the mind shift. So we can always try them to bring towards, one side, so we can, this, the peace negotiations can happen. And, see, we need to have another organization, international organization. Unlike UNO, it could be only for world peace. Only for world peace. It could be in India, it could be in Asia, it doesn't matter where it is. But we need an organization that is represent peace only, not other things. Only for maintaining world peace.
Yeah, but they are not allowed to exist, right? There's nobody, you need some leadership who can do this. I mean, I don't see any leader who would be willing to transgress powers like the US. Because
Yes, yes. Right. That's the
that's
thing
the biggest
lacking.
problem.
Somebody
Yeah.
taking over, and instead of thinking about only, US should do this, and everybody is like whatever US says, that's what they do, many countries.
Yeah,
So,
even Gandhi, if you see,
mm,
Gandhi was not really following what is in our
right, tradition.
itihas. He was not following the non-violence. I mean, if you look Mahabharata and Ramayana and the Gita, even the Gita, the message of non-violence is totally different. You have to fight. And Gandhi was telling Indians not to fight, but British could fight. They could kill. It,
Right.
he was not really following. I don't think he was following the right kind of nonviolence. But that's a different
So
different subject. No? That's
I,
probably debatable.
Yeah. Well,
I think to you this is Jignesh
Yeah.
Namaskaram.
yes.
So Dr. Shan, I think what we are seeing is a shift and is polarized. It's the world is shifting to a different where dominant power, if its energy diminishes, then the world order starts coming into place. So for me, and in my opinion, this is what is happening: is United States is becoming weaker compared to what every other country were, and there would be about 4 or 5 power eventually will start bringing order in place instead of trying one feeling too dominant and trying to
Right.
push everyone, and that's what is happening. So
Right.
this is a minor pain in the shorter period of time for a longer gain is what I it's what my feeling is.
Yeah, well, that may be true, but for the losses
Yeah,
of the life,
it is
you
unfortunate.
know,
It is
yeah. So that
unfortunate.
is how the feeling of that those individuals or countries, it's a big thing for them,
So,
and
Dr. Shan,
so yes,
this Muthu. So, I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, there are things which we cannot control, right? So, but how, as an individual, we can cope up with all this, right? So, how much of the news should it should not affect us? How we can navigate life,
Mm.
doing our tasks without bothered about the news and
Yes, yes.
be mindful.
Well, that's a very good question. So this is a yeah. So first of all, we should think about. So that is why these things are very important. Like, see, one of the things that I get attracted some 15 years back, even though I know the sage scientist from my birth. I was, my parents were, you know, following his principles. But the one thought that is called non-dying, deathlessness. This deathlessness is, so far I was thinking it was for physical body. You can, after the physical body dies, you can become, the, whatever salvation, enlightenment, or a consciousness goes. So that's a different idea. But you can live with this physical body, forever, turning this physical body into light. That gives lot of hope that human beings can live with this physical body if you change your mindset. What is the mindset? The mindset is not believing that we are going to die. That's called epigenetics. Because we are dying, because we are seeing people die, and so therefore we believing. It's like a disease. When we have a disease, we think that we're going to die. You will die. You will get cancer. You're scared. You will die. But when you have cancer, even when you have cancer, if you think that this will not harm me, and you strongly believe in that, you will come over that cancer, and there are cancer survivors who did this. So it's all epigenetics. So this thought of that we are going to live, what is that living? That living is not in this suffering. This physical body, not in the physical body you can live forever. It'll be so boring. If you live for 1,000 years, what you're going to do here? There's nothing here in this universe. You get so bored. 100 years if you live is good enough. But it's not about living in this physical body. There are other greater things for this life. That so கண்டதெல்லாம் மனத்தியமே, கேட்டதெல்லாம் பழுதே, கற்றதெல்லாம் பொய்யே. Right? So whatever we thought, whatever we see is a lie. Whatever we learned is a lie. See, if you look at what we have done so far is an illusion. We created that illusion. So therefore we are living this illusion. All these are messages only. Think about it. It's all photons. One war is happening somewhere. All these things, all this in the mind. Somebody who doesn't know, who do not have TV channels or any other thing in their life, they don't know what is happening around the world. Is it a good thing? Yes, that is their life. See, they live peacefully and they die peacefully, whatever it is, right? In one corner, if they did not have any information from outside, like my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, they all lived centenarians, the whole village. Most of them lived, 80% of them centenarians. because there was an island. It was an island. Nobody went there. It's a forest covered by complete forest. So they lived longer because there was no information going in. So the information is very important here. What information you're taking matters because that will work on you. If you're every day watching war, that information will run in you. What happens to me? What happens if I travel? What will happen? So you get stuck there because you're processing this. So your future or your immediate future I'm talking about, you're going out right now, depends on what you think right now. It's not on the outside. So you can change your own future. So you don't have to, take all those things because many things happen every day, something will happen. So you don't have to be affected by this. So you just have to be in your own self. The one self is that, see, I talk about this, the third eye, keeping the, awareness in the third eye, keeping the awareness on top of the head. This is second level. And then keeping awareness outside the body in the super consciousness. So if you keep in that level every time, in these three levels, depending on what you need, and sometimes you come to the fourth level, which is the Mooladhara for grounding and being a normal human being whenever there is space. Otherwise, you go up. So this is the Sutirapave, we call it. Sutirapave kairatru pogum sukuma kaitre parada, and the sukuma kaitre parada Kunangudi Mastan Sahib, Siddha talks about how is Sutirapave. So before you go away, you look at this invisible, the thread, that invisible string. So if you take that route, within moments you can go there. Any pandemic comes, you just go there, need awareness, because you are not meant to be dying here, because you are consciousness, you are God yourself. So this awareness is what is needed for individuals. So as an individual, do we have to be affected? No. Whatever happens, we have to be our own self, as God. So yes. Any other? Does it clarify?
When you say this, Dr. Shan, the other question is karma versus the free will, right? So I have my karmas that I bring out, lot of millions of karmas that have probably accumulated, and they force events on me. They force me to do certain things. So how much free will do we have? I mean, are you saying that we should do the right thing? So how much free will do we have?
So here is the thing, the free will is very important. The free will is what will make you God. The free will is the only thing that human beings have. I told you, Jiva Sudandara, Dega Sundara, Bhoga Sundara. 3 degrees of freedom is the free will. That is for taking, your physical body, whatever way you wanted to do, flexibility you can do. As a human being, not animals, cannot have that. And then the mind, whatever way you think, you can think. And then whatever you wanted to consume, you can consume in consumerism, clothes, food, etc. These three, we have 3 degrees of freedom. If you use that freedom rightly in a normal, living, then you will have less karma. You cannot live without karma. But accumulated karma can be avoided. The past karma, sanchita karma, prarabdha karma can be avoided by living in agami karma, which is the present karma, when you are keeping a frequency lower than 8 cycles per second. So around 8 cycles, below 8 cycles per second, up to 3 cycles per second, if you keep your mind there, this karma, that present karma only will activate. Whatever you do, you take a U-turn when nobody is there, you will get a ticket immediately. That means good for you. Your karma today, whatever you do happens. but your past karma will not come. Past karma comes only, wakes up when we have high frequency. If our mental frequency is going like 35, 40 cycles per second, then there all your ancestral karma also will come. And this is never ending. You cannot like really remove all karmas. It's impossible, because you did, your grandparents did that. Whatever you did itself will take so long. Think about your parents, grandparents, then you go back to animals. All those things, karma is in our DNA. So that is not the goal. The goal is to not remove karma. The goal is to be in the low frequency. That's what meditation helps. Meditation helps you to be in low frequency so that no karma will affect you, past karma will affect you. And do the introspections such that you only do right things today, is physical body. So you will always have good cause and effect. Then we
So
can.
you mean to say that if I can be in a lower frequency, like 3 hertz, 3 cycles, etc., that you're talking about, then my prarabdha karmas will be wiped out? Or what will happen to the prarabdha karma?
You do not wipe out karmas. Wiping out karmas is possible. It's called dissolution. Dissolution is possible. It's not an impossible thing. You can even take over. That's why Panchabhutas also will listen to you. That level we can do the karmas. That's how our Siddhas did it. So for example, he was Idaikada Siddha. He predicted this war several years back. He predicted the current war. He talked about every 60 years is a cycle that's happening. And if you look at exactly every 60 years, something happens. Right? So they went with the Panchabhutas, what they understood, like how they understood life in a much deeper way. So once we are able to erase the present karma, whatever our karma, then it is possible to erase that. But we should not take that as a goal, but rather we stay in that lower frequency so that things happen by itself. So it'll be like if you don't bring our past memories for a long time, they just get erased because they are very dormant. It becomes very dormant, and then they dissolve into their consciousness, because we are not responsible for any of this. We are not responsible. Only God made this creation. Only free will we are responsible. Take over. So with the free will only, we are going to low frequency. That's the only thing that we have to do with our own initiation.
So if I am in the low frequency, does that mean all the prarabdha karma that I have brought in this life, they get postponed, they get pushed out, or what happens?
Yes.
If they are not deleted, what?
Yeah,
but then I'll have to do it.
You can either selectively delete, or you can just leave it. It will not come up. It will not come up. So you can either selective. For example, you did good and bad, both in life. You don't want to take the bad. You can leave the bad, because everybody is made up of good and bad. If you think that you are bad, those things only you will identify those. That will come up. So if you only think about the good things you've done, you associate always with the good things you did in life, and you become that. That part of the memory becomes very stronger. Other gets, buried. And at one point, it's so much buried, we can just dissolve that. Through meditative process. So higher meditative process, going deeper into consciousness, as you go deeper every day through meditative process, dissolves karma slowly.
Yeah, Dr. Shan, that's what I would like, learn more from these classes. Obviously we cannot control what is happening outside in the world. And like you said, if not 6 years, it looks like more like a 6 minutes. Every 6 minutes, something bad is happening. So
yeah, exactly. Right.
Not necessarily 60 years.
No, yeah. What I'm saying, it's a repeat. No, that means before
Right.
60 years, today also a problem would have happened. Whatever is repetition only. Not as a problem comes, a repetition happens. Okay.
Yeah, but I like to learn more on how we can manage it. I mean, all we have is the current present moment right now, what we can
Right.
do to
Yeah.
manage our thoughts
Yes.
and actions.
So tomorrow you can come 5:30, and also we strongly suggest you to come and attend our every time you attend our retreats you learn new things, because we give you upgraded knowledge every time. That's why that Gupta ji asks me, why are you not repeating the same thing? So I say, I'm not giving it like like the way the Western instructors are. I'm just uploading things, upgrading things based on that time, what is needed, because this talk is needed for this time. I cannot talk marma for this time, because this is a different talk, right? Because in the pandemic we need, so like that every time the whatever we upgrade we give that, so you come and attend our next retreat. So we are planning to have this in Texas, so you can see this, so you can enroll and you can come and we can do like a deeper thing. So this is why I ask people to attend my tomorrow I have 5:30 meditations you attend. These are small things you learn, but when you do the workshops there are deeper things that you learn, and slowly see, we have to shift to like this kind of ancient knowledge. All the other knowledge is a waste of time. So I did all my PhD. I wanted to do a PhD because of one yogi said me, send me, you go to United States, do this PhD, all these things. So I did PhD in my, physics, applied physics. I did a lot of work in that, and we publish papers in those areas. But that's not my core area. The core area is very deep, and to understand this we need people to shift towards this area. People are looking for all modern things, all mixed things, etc. That's what their interested is. But this is a core knowledge what our Siddhas got, what I'm talking about. This is missing in this world as education, in the education system. If you integrate this education system to the world, we can have a wonderful world. We can have amazing people in this world who can do miraculous things. We don't even need this kind of YouTube and other things. We can do with collective mind. We can do whatever you're doing in the modern things, like all the Tesla and the all the different kind of innovations that we are doing can be done organically. There's an organic method of doing this. We can communicate from long distance, even very physically, like you can see each other, like how we are seeing in a TV. But that technology, we need to do different kind of thing. It's not a knowledge technology through the five senses. It is an experiential technology. You have to do certain process to attain that. So that's what our Siddhas have done. How come our Siddhas, Rishis, they are able to go to the planets, find this is the planet, this is the constellation, this is how it looks, how far it is, the distance, all this, how did they calculate it? They calculated through this process. So this process is not in the sensory input learning. This is a downloading from the consciousness directly. So that is the knowledge I am talking about here. It's not about the modern knowledge. All this modern knowledge that we call is a waste of time. I'm telling you, it's a waste of time.
So can you tell us what are you going to cover in this forthcoming retreat in Florida?
Yeah, in the Florida we'll be covering, first of all, I want to cover food is a big thing, because food what we are eating is a non-food. It's not a food today. So even though we are talking higher dimensional things, higher concepts, what basic concept is, if you don't eat the right food, you will not be able to process what I'm talking also. It's out. So we need to change the food. Food is very important. And today, all over the world, there is a bad food habit we have, and people start to consume that, and they become a different kind of human being. You can become a different kind of human being when you consume a different type of food that is not food. You can still live, but you will not be a human being.
So we will get like sattvic food, right? Organic sattvic
Yes.
food in
So
the
now I'm
retreat.
just giving them techniques how to make. I'm making them, showing like how we can do attract the modern kids, because your kids, we lose all these kids. Generation X, generation whatever we call that generations, they all will lose this knowledge. They'll not have this knowledge. How do we put that knowledge in them? Through food. So you can put certain intentions in the food that, for example, Karisale. Karisale is an ancient Siddha herb. A Bringraj, it is called in the Ayurvedic, but Bringraj we have in the Siddha, there are two types of Karisales. So if you put that Karisale in a certain amount in the food with an intention, that kid will have spiritual knowledge automatically. So you see that you cannot directly today, you cannot talk spirituality with your kid easily. But with that intention, that herb will do that. So these are the kind of things that I'm going to teach them so that they can implement that, in their life. So this is an example. And then we will do some healing techniques that they will heal through some asanas, through some marma techniques that they will heal. And immediately I'll show certain things. And if you repeat that, particularly, you can heal 99% of the problems. You can heal yourself. You may have to rely only 1%, 2% on external people like me or somebody else who can heal. You don't have to, you have the capability to heal yourself. Only you have to learn. All these techniques are available in our ancient knowledge. So this is what I'm teaching them, step-by-step process, so they can self-sustain, the self-sustained life. Right? So this is the whole thing. Then how use light as a medicine, light as photomedicine, how you can heal. And we've been very successful, healing many diseases just using light. Your lamp only, using simple lamp in your house, you can do wonderful things. You don't have to have, see, people always believe in some machines, some measurement means we have to do this. This is how technology is. Technology doesn't involve those things. All are invasive only. Whatever we take as a machine is an invasive. You will never know the reality. If you see, if you're hooking up with your brain, you'll show some wave. It's not a real wave. It's not a real wave that you're looking at your thought. It's impossible to find what thought you're thinking. Even if you measure your hormones, cortisols, or all those things, they all are limited. The only tool is this, yourself. This human being itself, because we all are God. Remember that. We are God. This is a God-built thing. We didn't build this. It's a God inside us. So we have all the capability. We have all the tools inside us. If you use the right tool, we can do everything. We can create, clean up the disease in a particular organ. There is a tool. You have to heal a particular organ. There is a tool. Everything is inside only. There's no external thing needed.
So how many days will it be? When would you start? When do you finish?
So usually I start at Friday morning, and then we go over, Friday, we start at Friday morning. I start a little late, like 10, late morning, 10 a.m. But next day, Saturday and all, it will be 5:30 in the morning, right? And then Sundays are 5:30 and 4:30 we will, and Sunday, we'll end. So this is typically do this, yeah.
And people who are coming from outside, which airports, etc., would you recommend? Is that like a hotel where you're doing, or is it a?
It is a retreat center,
Mhm.
and retreat center information is given in our website. You can go to look at the link here. The link is given. It is Pine Lake Retreat in Groveland, Florida. You can find that place there. And it is very peaceful place. I have been, Jignesh ji took me there, and It was very peaceful, nice place. This is a 250 acres land, owned by an individual who wanted to do service, but he donated part of it to Hare Rama Hare Krishna organization, other places. But he wants to do all these kind of peaceful well-being retreats there. So that way, it is very cheaper. Also, we can create our own food. We will, make our own food, organic way, very simple way. And there is kitchen, everything available, and then we will have there is bunk beds if you want, or you have individual rooms. Every facility is available, and all those are listed in our website. Yeah.
Okay. And is it probably Tampa or the Orlando airports, right? Closest airport.
Yes. Maybe we should give instructions on our website itself, I think, which is the nearest airport. Maybe Anjir and team can do that, nearest airport.
Yeah, and how far is it from the airports? And how do they get to the place?
Right.
I think that'll be good.
Right. Yes. So.
And also the pricing. I mean, if somebody wants a bunk bed, it might be very inexpensive. And if you want an individual room, it might be a little bit higher. If people know the pricing as well, it might help, right? Because they have to book the room. Do they have to book? What is the lead time to book a room in that place? Does it?
Well, we have to give at the earliest possible. There is no deadline as such for now, but they have just opened it up. So believing that we will bring the people, and but the earlier is better. We can organize, in a much better way. So yeah. So whatever date, because we want to limit ourselves at certain point, we'll have a cutoff date, so that we limit ourselves to a limited number of people would be very good. Even if you have 20 to 25, that will be a good number. Because if you bigger crowd, cooking and all these things will be complicated. So, yeah. Okay. So, any other questions? Otherwise, we can close. What do you?
I think you also mentioned about membership. How does the membership work?
And membership. Andy was also, yesterday he was asking. So, membership, like you pay 1,500. You can attend, almost 5 retreats per year. So this is the membership link we have is here, and so it will start whenever you start. It's like yearly. So whenever you start from then, the day, the month will count. Okay, so it'll be 1 year. It is valid. And if you're bringing your family, it is only 50%. Say you are adding another member, your wife is added, so you pay another 750, you become a member per year. So that is the advantage. If you're bringing a family, it's a real great advantage for them. Yeah.
So the member can attend the camps for free. They don't have to pay. Do they have to pay the accommodation or registration?
Yeah, the accommodation is extra. This is membership only for the job. So accommodation, it depends, because every accommodation is different. Accommodation rates are given is not very expensive here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Food we are going to prepare, so you don't have to worry about the food.
So do the participants have to help in preparing the food?
They are learning. So if they want to help, they can help. Otherwise, they will have to watch me doing it. So if they want, because I will do it quick. So 20 people I can cook within minutes. So I have a strategy for that. But if you help, it's a great thing. Yeah, mostly we'll help. Last time, all of them help, because we need the collective consciousness, collective energy to work together. And it'll work very effectively. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Okay. So if there are any other questions, so Andy has a question, I guess. Okay, so Andy is talking about, are you talking about the same thing? Andy, or you have
Yes,
any?
we're talking about diet and world peace because right now there's a fighting going on in Iran, and the fact is, Iranians, Persians, a lot of people in the Middle East are not Hindus. They're
Yeah.
Muslims. They live by halal. The Jews, they don't live by halal or even by Hebrew. They don't live by Hindu standards. They live by culture behavior. They that involves killing animals.
Mm-hmm.
There's the use of AI all over the place.
Yeah.
Business people don't want to follow those stuff.
Right. Right. Well, see, that's what, see, the idea is that all this happening, that's why all this killing and all this happening around the world. If you want to have a peaceful world, we turn to a culture that learned. It doesn't matter whether it's a Hindu culture or whatever culture. If there is some good value, we will learn. See, if there is a good value, I see in the Middle East, in the culture, we have a good value, right? For example, the oneness. Oneness is a good life. When you're meditating, there's only oneness. That's a good concept, right? No diversions, that oneness. But when it comes to applications of all the human beings and beyond human species, you take it from India. So you take good concept from different cultures, not the bad concept. If there is a good culture, see, killing is bad, we know that, right? So when there is a concept that non-killing is there, it's a new concept, right? And by non-killing, you are not doing anything bad. By killing, you are doing something bad, right? Everybody knows that. It's a very common sense, right? So non-killing, there is no harm. If I'm not killing, there is no harm. But killing, you have a question, right? So those days in the Middle East, they don't have proper way of growing vegetables. Today, in Middle East, you can grow all the vegetables. In a small room, they have not the technology. So there is no need for killing today. They have to be self-sustained, right? Self-sustained. So they will find ways. It's not like the same things applies. So that is the survival, right? Survival of the fittest means you will kill another animal and take it. That's a way of looking at it. The survival of the fittest theory is a very wrong theory. Instead, symbiosis is the best theory. Symbiosis means you live, your dog is there, you are there. You both share and eat something. When you meditate and when there is godly things will come, if you think organically, new ideas, organic ideas will come and food will be there for you. If you think this is the way you have to kill and eat, then the karma will accumulate. So always there is a way. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let us take, if it is ahimsa is a good principle, let it be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it comes from a religion or culture or a country. If it is a good thing, everybody can practice. That's what I can say.
Yeah, the
Okay.
only problem with that is that in places like Saudi Arabia, they actually I've been hearing on the news that they had to create what we call like these horizontal cities. They if you want to like know what's going on over there, they actually designed these cities where it takes billions of dollars and a lot of investment to make that. And the thing is we're going to show this to people in the Middle East on how to live like a Siddhar. They have to really more than just practice the medicine. They have to allow themselves to make technologies and even build skyscrapers in order to regulate the temperature. It's really bad, and like agriculture is not easy to grow over there.
Yeah. See, because we did something doesn't justify anything. And did we do by thinking? We just did because we are copying somebody else. We wanted to copy the West, they did that. I wanted to build the tallest and all those things. That is not that's came through competition, right? It is not through wisdom. So if something is built through wisdom, that is what we wanted to follow. So just because somebody did that, we don't have to justify that. We have to go by what is sustainable, long-term sustainability. So we learn from the non-invasive siddhas who did not, believe in any of this. They believe that the whole world is one. That's what we want to believe. We don't want to believe in those things were taken by competition, like I want to build the biggest, tallest building in the world. All this, see, we only made it, and therefore we have the consequences. So we don't have an answer there. So real answer is in knowing the truth. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think we are running out time. So I'll see you. Hope you all can attend come on the Monday's meditation class at 3 p.m. EST, 5:30 a.m. 3 p.m. IST and 5:30 a.m. EST. Okay, please attend and we'll do the protection ring. Thank you all.